Three, two, one.
Sometimes I decide to do crazy things, and I think this is one of them, and I never done anything like this. But I had this idea, and I wanted to bring it to life. It's called What's for Design. What's for dinner, what's for lunch, dessert, breakfast, you name it. So the idea here is to combine food and design. We will be featuring a special guest that has the possibility to choose between cooking or designing, but it has to be about their favorite meal. For this first episode, we have an amazing designer, my dear friend. She's super chic, talented. Please welcome Barviana Yu.
Hello.
Hi, Barviana. Welcome. How are you today?
I am very excited.
And nervous a little bit, or all good?
A tiny bit, I would say, but mostly I'm also hungry.
So it's a good combination then. Tell me, you're gonna be cooking today. So you choose cooking,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be designing. Tell me about what you're gonna be cooking.
Yes, so today I am bringing my favorite dish. Also, it's my family recipe, which is jjajangmyeon black bean noodles. So what's special about this dish to me is that we bring a little bit something different from the traditional jjajangmyeon. Like if you've been to Taiwan, you definitely can order the same thing, but we actually add a special ingredient, which is the string beans.
All right.
This is only I don't see anything like this elsewhere, only exists in my family. I don't know why. Probably my grandma decided to put the string beans in it, and it becomes something that just passed down, everyone make the same noodles now, with the sauce. So yeah, this is like a family recipe. I'm very excited to show you guys how I made this dish. And if I can, I will eat it every day. Yeah.
Before we jump into the ingredients, I wanted to mention two things. The first one is this is the first episode, and there are three reasons for it to be for you to be the first episode. So the first one is because you were the first person to know about this project. When I not even knew how it was gonna be. The second one is, of course, because I feel very, very confident. With you, we hang and we have so much fun every time. But the third one is because I wanted to do kind of a manifestation here with you. So I'm gonna show you something that I did. Ooh. Are you ready?
Drum roll. Yes. Oh my god. It's that funny.
Yes.
I love it. I absolutely.
You know that I love him, and
Yes, you know.
He's not a designer, but I would love for him to be on the show. So I'm just gonna put it here.
That's perfect. Yeah, we have to manifest this.
I know it's crazy, but crazy things happen too. So
love it.
All right. So tell me a little bit about your ingredients so I can show you mine.
Yes. Okay, so I have the string beans right here, and I already prepped them. I washed them and then trimmed the ends. I also have the cucumbers right here. The most importantly, I have the white noodles and the ground pork, and then the secret sauce. So I have the sweet flour sauce and then the fermented bean paste. So yeah, that's the ingredients. I don't think it's very complicated, but the flavor is really good.
Let me share my screen so I can show you. All right. So I did a little bit of research, right? And I wanted for you mentioned it that this is a recipe that is within your family, that is a tradition, and that you also have the special touch, right? So I wanted to combine a little bit of the style that Taiwanese design that I found that I thought it was like really cool, and I want your coach too, like because you're my my inspiration for this for this
Love
design.
it. Love it.
So you're over here. I did a quick sketch that I'm gonna show around here.
Love it. I love the mood board so far. Yeah, I can't wait to see what's gonna be.
Let's see. Let's create it
Yeah.
together. All right. You can start cooking, and
Yeah.
I'm going to start over here. So I have I'm gonna do this size because I wanted to do a poster today.
I love making poster, to be honest. Like if I wanted to design something, I feel like poster it's like the easy, entryway to just get your ideas out there.
You know that I always get like not stuck, but it's easier for me when I'm gonna do like a website, like a layout for a website. I don't know if the formatting. Lately I've been doing like this more like mobile posters because I feel that they're not UI anymore.
Yes, I made this for my partner before, and he was very surprised because he didn't really like string beans before, but adding it into the sauce, and it's not gonna be like super crunchy. It will be like a little bit soft, but yeah, like the textures definitely is the reason why he fell in love with this
Or with you.
as well. Oh, with me, yes.
That you're like talking about like this and how like you actually like manage the how to give different flavors, textures. And I was thinking because it's very very related to the way that we design, right? So
Yeah.
if you will share the good ones are I'm sure there are like a lot of ones, but do you have like a bad like experience on design? Like what has been like the worst experience for you?
Ooh, talking about the worst experience. Are we talking about like freelancing, like facing clients type of like, or just purely design?
I guess like that's up to you. That like just design or client, like any story that you want to share. I feel it without compromising you.
Yeah, without cutting my finger.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I would say that because I'm a self-taught designer, so at first it was very frustrated for me to just get anything done on Illustrator because I was not familiar with the tool at first, and I have to constantly go back to YouTube, searching for like tips or just basic tutorial. Even now, I still love watching YouTube videos for like design, seeing the process of other designers designing. And yeah, like that was a difficult part for me at first. But then, and I care so much about, am I doing it right? Because I never been to any design school, art school. So I wasn't sure if this is the right way to design. But then I realized that there is no right or wrong way, when we were designing stuff. Like you can like do whatever you want. Like the process doesn't really like matter when it comes to perfection. And I enjoy the process, to be honest. This is very important to me. I feel like I always learn something new in the process when I'm, designing a new project, which I feel like it's the reason why I wanted to do more. Like I decided to go with the route. Like I wanted to be a designer because it fuels me in a way, if that makes sense.
It definitely makes sense. And for me, it's crazy that you're that's a great example actually, because like you didn't go to an art school or a design school, but your design is amazing. Like that.
Thank you so much.
That teaches that it's just about purpose, right? Like whatever you wanna create, do, learn, like is really up to you. Like the rest are like just excuses. Because like I
Mhm.
been studying design for such a long time, and I actually feel that I do my best designs are when I'm just like having fun and I don't have like
Exactly. Yeah.
like
Having
pressure.
fun. is
Like I
wonderful.
allow myself to experiment, and sometimes like those things that looks like mistakes are the ones that like, oh, I kind of like this, like give me like like ideas. And I admire you a lot, so I think it's
Aw.
I think it's
The
awesome.
feeling is mutual.
How is that going? What are you doing right now?
So another secret ingredient. I don't think it's like an ingredient, but what I love to cook with my Asian like dish is using pork fat instead of olive oil. And I didn't realize how much difference until I actually, because I was, for those like who don't know me, I was born and raised in Taiwan, and I moved to the state like 8-9 years ago. So the first time I was here, I couldn't really find, I was not in New York at first. I moved to Florida first, and there was not much like the legit, Asian food there. So I have to cook it myself. And the only thing I can find is olive oil. So I was cooking with olive oil, but I realized that the flavor is very different. Like I just couldn't feel my mom and mine did. So yeah, I was like figuring out like why the dish doesn't taste the same. I'm asking my mom the same stats I'm doing. Everything should be the same. Like it should turn out the same as how my parents, like how my family was cooking, but it just didn't taste the same. And then my mom was like, how about not try something else, like not olive oil. Like, do you guys have pork fat? And I was like, I'm not sure, because normally we'll get the pork fat like from a traditional market. And I'm not sure where can I find it here. But then I found it. But since then, I just love it using pork fat because it just brings out that flavor more. It's more Asian. Yeah, it's just very tasty. It smells really good. I know you can't smell it, but when the pork fat starts melting, you can actually.
I can, yeah. Not picture it. That wouldn't be the right word, but like, yeah, I can definitely imagine like that smell.
How's the design, by the way? Let me see.
I'm going. So I was within my research, and one of the things that you mentioned is like you had Chinese background too. So I wanted to bring that, and I thought of doing it with like a frame. This is not a traditional like Chinese frame, but it's kind of like that's the idea. I just made it up. This frame.
Yeah.
But I wanted to give that feeling too. And I wanted to give a space. So now you have been sharing with me like all this, stories with your family and the recipes. But I wanted to give you a space where you can actually ask me anything. Like you can ask me anything you like. Like ask me anything box on Instagram.
Yes. Ask me anything. Yes. Okay. So I am very curious. What was your first project? I find that like very fascinating, like how people, like the first project, because like it kind of helped, like not help them, but it really opens the door for the designer. Yeah. So I wanted to, I'm just curious. What's your first project?
Such a long time ago.
A long time ago. I know.
All right. So I think it was not the first per se, but it was the first one that I was doing it by myself with a friend, right? Like it wasn't through like an agency, because I graduated, and I did my internships in an agency, and then and then I worked on design studio. But this was the first time that this client came to me because he liked what I do, and he was doing an app, and he wanted, like, they were developers. They did this app that it was to control like the animals on a farm, like the reproduction, like the like the inventory, like the type of animals. So they developed this app that looked so ugly. But that was the first time where I actually had, like the first encounter with like material colors, with the sizing of the icons and how you actually have to deliver those. I remember, like, right now it's like amazing, right? Because like you have all these tools that you can export in 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x. But by that time, you had to do it manually, and any mistake was like a whole round of like files. It's crazy, but it was amazing. Just to, I guess, like, that's where I started to fall in love with UX UI, because before that I was fully into web design, and even before, like, knowing like the principles or like the right things to do on web design, I was just obsessed. And I wanted to create things that were interactive and like people could share, like through internet, like through a link. That was for me like, wow. But this was the first time that I had, like that first test of doing an app, or actually designing it and making it pretty. And that's a great question, because you kind of like unlock a memory in my head.
Yes, like, yeah, I was meant to say like the first project kind of like just brought you like something, how you will feel like the passion, I guess, like the passion in design. And I love that. Like, so I guess like ever since like the first project, you're more into the UX UI design aspect, which is awesome. I think that's how I first like noticed you on Instagram. It was like a web design or something, like a contest, or like two designers like designing like the website landing page or something at the same time. Yeah, that's how I first like saw the content from you.
Oh,
and
yes, when that was with Brandon and Ruben, right? Like
that like was very cool when I first saw it, because I came from tech background, but I was not like, I did not know anything about the front end, because I was the back end engineer. So seeing that, I was like, wow, like it's very different from, the tech aspect that I know before, which is very just different. And and I feel like you are such a cool person. Follow along, and that's how we basically follow each other.
I remember
a design bestie till now.
Yes. That's crazy. Why we so basically around that time you were actually like changing careers too? Like you were kind of like starting to like the web design, like right when that happened?
Yeah, I was so I started with brand design at first, but because I know like how to develop the website.
That's
and
so cool. I love.
Yeah, thank you so much. And like my clients actually ask me if I can design website as well. And I'm like, I never tried it. Let me try it. And I really like it, honestly. But I wasn't sure if I'm doing it right or wrong. Again, I always feel a little bit like, how do you call that again?
Like imposter syndrome?
Yes, like imposter syndrome a little. Like I'm not so confident with everything I'm doing. So I wanted to, but that's also a good tip. Like I always recommend other designers, like especially if they're new to this industry, like follow other designers and shadow like what they're doing, and support them, ask them questions, because that's how you're gonna learn like the most intuitive way, I would say. Because that's like if you're just watching a straight up like tutorial but no like human behind kind of explaining why I make this decision using this tool, using this feature, then you're still not like fully understanding like the whole process of like why you're designing this way. So shadowing other designer, knowing what they're doing really helps me. I feel like that accelerates the process of me like getting better in design. So yeah.
How is that going there? Like, what are you doing right now? Like how?
So the sauce is cooking right now. I have to kind of leave it in for a few minutes, I would say like maybe 5 to 10 minutes to let it soak up like the juice, and the sauce will be ready, and then we'll start cooking the noodles. But yeah, in the meantime, I wanted to talk about cucumbers. So
All right.
yeah, cucumbers also is the highlight of this dish. So it serves as the refreshness of this dish, because the noodles is like very hot, and normally we will cool like the cucumber first. So put in the fridge, and right before you are gonna start, you're gonna eat your noodles, we'll pull it out, and we're going to either slice up or like make it like super thin, cut it like super thin. I like to use this, to be honest, because it's just easier. And put it on the side, so when you're eating with your noodles, it's like cool. And it's cucumber, so it's like really refreshing.
And fresh. Okay. Besides coffee and air fresheners, because I've been stalking you, so I know that inspires you. But besides that, like, what's that Barbiana, gets all creative with?
I love that question. So I wanted to let people know that I am not just, a creative who only love like traditional like design stuff, but I also really love like interior, for example. So I like to just like, if I have time and during weekends normally, I will step outside and I will look for a home decor store, or I will like specifically wanted to check out some vintage market, flea market, just to look for some like really amazing design like objects, I would say, like either it's decors, furniture. Yeah, that really inspired me to design as well. Like seeing I feel like maybe because of the environment, it like sparks my
The way you
creativity,
feel, yeah.
I would say. Yeah, to me, like environment is so important. If I'm in a very dark room, without anything, most likely I can't really get my creative juice out. So I have to make sure that my environment is also, like delightful. I love that little tiger lion figure under.
Okay, so
I love.
when I was doing my research, one of the things that I found out, it was like kind of like this symbols or imagery, right? That it's traditionally used as protections, good luck, and I chose this one because it was for the good luck, and to bless like a project or a house. Like that's tradition, like the way that, well, that's, please don't kill me, that's what Google told me.
Well, it is supposed to bring like good luck and protect you, even like protection, like if you want to put that as one of the meaning, it could be. Yeah,
And it also,
but yeah, everything positive.
and also there is a tiny thing that if I zoom in, I can show you. You have been a lot into like pixelated objects and kind of like that techie, All right, so I wanted to give it that feel too. So it's
Oh, wow.
it's vector, but it's all,
Yeah.
So thank you
It
for
also
bringing
makes
that up.
it looks like it's a hand-drawn like object as well. Love that.
So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how I started, and then I vectorize it, and then I pixelate it. So,
Oh, love. Yeah.
but I was like just testing out. I was like, I'm gonna bring it too.
That is so cute.
Like,
Yeah. So I just moved. So I'm trying to unpack. But in the meantime, I am working on a new project for Design Bodega. I mean, like I already got the samples. I have everything. I just need to do the photo shoot. Yeah. So yeah, new project, and I'm going to launch very soon, which I'm very excited. Hint, gonna be coffee related, and I think you already know.
no, I know not. I'm very excited. And I'm also like fully in love with your brand. I love the way it's so you, but in a way that you can wear it. I don't know how to explain it really well, but I feel that defines, like your personality and your style.
Yeah, because I really wanted to make it something like for myself and also for the community. Yeah. So if I want to talk more about like what is Design Bodega to those like who don't know, Design Bodega is a like community-based like designer, creatives, whoever you are, you wanted to do something, fun, you have crazy ideas, and you just need, someone in the community to support you. This is where you go. I am trying to launch my personal collection, and then also at the same time, I'm gonna like really work on planning in real life workshops and events for people like living in New York City. But in the future, maybe I'll expand to other cities as well. But right now, it will be like New York City based. Yeah.
I love that.
So it will be like a hub and outlet for.
I promise that the first event that you do with Design Bodega, I'm gonna be there. I'll fly to New York to join you.
Oh my God, that'll be so cool. We can even do something together in Miami.
I feel yes, for sure.
So the noodle looks like it's almost gonna be done. I'm gonna start prepping the cucumbers.
Yes. All right. So do that. I was gonna actually ask you how it's going. I'm just giving the final touches here. Now I'm gonna show you this, and I feel like in food and in design, everyone has an something to say. Like an opinion. Right?
Oh yes.
So if you're seeing this poster, what is missing for Barbiana?
Ooh, let me see. Ooh, I love it. So I can visually see this is coming from having that traditional Asian Chinese style, which I love. And I really love that little touch with that illustration at the bottom. And I love having a shadow of the Chinese text behind the main object. Just everything layout, it's really nice and legible as well. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, very legible. Instantly catch my eyes with the noodles, floating with the noodles, the chopsticks, everything. Yeah.
Awesome. So I nailed it.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I love it. Can you zoom in the bowl?
Yes. So I wanted to give. Actually, I use one of these brushes because because I wanted to give that. I didn't want to polish lines, very vector feeling. I wanted to feel more like those type of traditional illustrations that are more like ink, right? Like that type of style. And I was like, oh, maybe with with those brushes I can. And I feel like it looks nice.
It looks really cool. I would say I never tried that brush before.
No,
but that looks really cool.
Yeah,
it looks like this traditional a brush that we use. We have this the black ink brush we used to write Chinese letter before. I remember when I was a kid, I have a class for it, and that's the exact not exact, but very, very similar, very close to that texture. Yeah. So you totally nailed it. Love it.
I'm so excited. I just wanted to have it your plate here and the design here. And well, yeah, that will be the perfect picture.
All right. So I think I finished. Like I cleaned up the plate a little.
How cute!
Yeah,
I
maybe do
love
this
it.
angle too.
Yes.
I am so happy, and thank you so much for inviting me to the show. And I finally showed people the side of me cooking. So thank you.
I love that. I love that. I never see you cooking, so and I feel that that's something that a lot of people is gonna get interested because like, oh,
To be fair, I don't cook normally. Like I don't cook much. So
all right, but you have your things. You can do your, your recipe. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just very appreciated that you share with us like all these stories, your recipe, and to be with me on this. I hope that everyone likes it the way that that we're creating this. And
Yes, obsessed. Yeah, and I hope everyone try out the recipe at home.
yeah,
And
that will be
help.
cool. And send us pictures too.
Yes, tag us.
And I wonder if someone will like wanted to design something different, with their own spin. That would be really cool too. So let's see how this is going to evolve, and I'm excited. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love you, and this
Love
was
you.
What's for Design.
Yeah.
See you the next time.
Bye.
Bye.